Hello everybody, good day to you and welcome back. I'm glad you guys are here. We're returning to a part 2 video on this 1992 Isuzu pickup truck. It is a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder with approximately 64,172 miles on the odometer. Drug this thing in on a trailer. The fuel pump was absolutely annihilated in this vehicle, and the fuel in the tank was basically turned into some kind of toxic turpentine solution. It was no longer gasoline, and whatever that gas had turned into, it pretty much just melted the fuel pump. So we had to get the thing running. We put a fuel pump in it, had the tank down. That was on the first video on this particular truck. This right here is the second video. If you missed the first one and would like to go back and check it out, I will leave a link to it in this video's description, and I will also leave that same link in the pinned comment in the comment section down below. So having said all that, in this episode, we are going to fix up this this nasty drive belt situation here. So we've got, this is an old school system, so we're running V-belts on it. I'm counting 4 of them, and all 4 of them are sort of running sideways, and they are all very, very worn, and you saw them slapping, making all kinds of squealy noises. So we're gonna get these belts pulled out and switched out. We're gonna check on the pulley alignment and kind of go from there. The goal here is to get this truck back in operating condition as a fuel saver commuter vehicle. Again, it's an old school, very, very lightweight mini truck, and these things got excellent fuel economy back in the day, and that is the purpose of the repair work that's going into this particular mini truck right here. So stay tuned, guys. This is going to be a very good revitalization video. As we saw, there's 4 belts. They're all in a row. I believe all of them, with the exception of this air pump belt, is driven off the crankshaft. So what we're going to do is we need to manually loosen all of these engine accessories on the front of this. We've got a power steering pump here, the air pump is right here. Down below, we've got an alternator under the air pump, and then back in the corner over there on that side, you've got the AC compressor and a tensioner pulley. So we're gonna go ahead and get all these accessories disconnected, peel these belts off one at a time, and then we're gonna get the new ones installed. Hopefully we can get this noise to shut up so our guy can drive this truck again. Here, let's move on over to the passenger side to get a better illuminated view of what we're trying to do here regarding these accessories. So it's always best to start from the beginning, and since this power steering belt is the closest one to the front, we're gonna get this guy disconnected first. What I need to do is loosen the bracket, and then, oh, that's tight. We don't need to take it off, but I do need to loosen this stuff up. Now you see right down here, see how on top of that bolt, there's that slot right there? When we loosen that bolt, I'll be able to move the bracket with a ratchet, and that's going to change the angle that bracket sits, and it's going to allow this this belt to come slack. I don't know if you saw it just down below, but when I took it loose, that bracket moved. Watch this. See that? Push that whole thing down. It slacks the belt off, and then we can pry it out of there. So here, watch this. We'll stick a ratchet in that little keyway there, pry back on it. We're pushing that whole business down to get slack on this belt, and it's not going as far as I'd like. Okay, that bolt down below, that's bottomed out on the slack business, so I think this is all we get. I'm just gonna have to, I think I have to take that bolt out. It's not gonna get any more slack for me here. No, I got it. There we go. Okay, that's one belt off. I think I made that harder than it had to be. Flashlight, down! Hit me in the head. Come on, belt. All right, so here's our first V-rib belt. These were pretty much what the standard was before the invention of the serpentine belt. Hence the reason that we have multiples in there instead of just one belt. This one's not too terrible. And we can see it's got some cracking going on. I'm assuming the rubber is a little bit hardened, and we do have some kind of irregular wear on the sides here, so we're just gonna replace all of them. That's kind of the plan. So one belt is off. Let's check the pulley. That power steering pulley is turning free and clear, so I think that one's in good shape. Let's move on to the air pump belt over here on the right side of the engine neck. Similar principle as the power steering pump. We've got the bracket here with the big slot in it. We need to take the bolt loose in the slot. And I've got to reach down below and get a hold of the other bolt, take that loose, and then this air pump will, oh, that one's just kind of moving. Maybe the other one's not even tight. See it move? Look at that, watch this. Yeah, that thing at the bottom's not even tight. Let's pull this guy off next. Now, I want to keep these belts in order. That way, I know which one came from where, so I can match them up with the replacements. And here's our first little bit of a challenge. Check this out. What's going on is the belt is going around the fan. See that right there? So what I'll do is I'll slip it past a couple of the blades, rotate the fan until the belt becomes free of said fan. There she is. And that is our emission system air pump belt. So that's next in line right there. After that one, we need to go down to the bottom of the car because the AC belt is tensioned with that pulley right there. See that pulley down there? That's a similar procedure as removing these other units right here, but we got to get that one from the bottom side. So let's go ahead and raise this thing up, and we'll get that next belt removed. All right, moving on up, black subscribe button. That's for all the new people here who have not yet considered subscribing to the channel. Oh, by the way, speaking of subscribing, I heard, and I've observed in my own well, personal observation, I guess, that the YouTube algorithm situation regarding connecting viewers to creators is still doing some, I don't know, it's not working is what I'm getting. I'm hearing that people have turned on the notification bells and they are not receiving notifications. And I'm also hearing again that many viewers have found that they are unsubscribed, not just from my channel, but from other channels as well. So something's going on with the algorithm, or I don't know what the deal is. I'm no computer programmer, but if you would not mind, check to make sure that your subscription to the channel is still valid and you have not been unsubscribed by random forces within the YouTube matrix. And that will end my impromptu public service announcement on algorithms and computerization things of that nature. So, let's get back to what we were doing. We're gonna raise this thing on up, get down below. This is good right here. And we'll get that next belt removed. Hello, darling.
Hello.
How do you do? What'd you bring? Did you bring me flowers?
No, this is for our daughter's teacher.
Ooh, oh.
It's her anniversary. It's her anniversary
well, that's
today.
Very nice of you.
Thought it'd be nice.
Did you get lunch?
Yes,
Is it
tenders,
chicken?
and I got you a sub. Pub sub.
I'll eat that too. Pub subs for the win. Is there jalapenos on it?
Yes.
Yes. All right, let's go eat. See you guys later. Alrighty, so we're down below. I'm gonna back up some so you guys see where we're at on the vehicle. So we're down below, passenger side, and what we're looking at right in front of us is the tensioner for the AC belt. Now, you see that that bolt sticking out from the center there. This big nut here is what locks this pulley onto the sliding bracket. And if you look just below that, you see that other bolt. Now that other bolt goes up to the back side of this pulley, and there's like a little square metal block back there that's threaded in from the bottom, and it's threaded in side to side, and that's what the pulley attaches to, is that block. The bracket that this thing slides up and down on is sandwiched in between the back plate of the pulley and the front of that block. So what we have to do is take this loose right here, and that's gonna free the block up from the bracket, and then we can run this fastener up and down, up or down, and that is going to move the position of the pulley in relationship to the bracket, ultimately changing the position of the pulley and allowing the belt to become tightened. So we need to break this guy loose right here. You don't have to take it off, we just loosen it enough to where it'll have some play. And then I need to come in, I've got a universal swivel 12mm on an extension. I'm gonna come in behind everything and operate. Oh, see how we're getting tighter right there? So So let's go the other way. We'll loosen it. And that's gonna slack this belt off and allow us to remove this one from the system here. So we'll keep spinning that guy. Okay, see how the threads are starting to back out, so I think that's all she wrote. Let's push that up some. There we go. A little bit more, I think, a little more. The light fell out. So yeah, I've got an extension on the swivel on a ratchet. Take her loose some more. What I'll do is when it's loose enough, I'll push that up. See how the pulley got more slack? That's what we're looking for. You don't want to disassemble and unthread that, that adjuster bolt completely, because if you do such things, then you have to disassemble the pulley to put it back in the adjuster block. So I think we got the slack here to get this guy out. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that one's off, and we have to walk this one around the, I think around the fan. No, that one's free and clear of the fan. No need to worry about that. So yep, that's our next belt, number 3 in the series. And then the last one, let's see how we get this guy to come loose. That one's actually pretty tore up and it's missing half of it, I think. So our nadir, that one's slotted. I found the slot up at the top. It's like, yeah, top side. So what I'll do, we're gonna take that bottom alternator bolt loose right there. Can we see? Nope. That one right there. We're gonna take that guy loose and then go back up top to get the other adjuster taken care of. Yeah, this belt was probably our primary offender. Look how loose it is, just kind of hanging out here. Yeah, that one stretched a little bit, I'd say. No bueno. So I've got a long handled 1/4-inch drive with a 14 deep well. What we're gonna do, I'm probably a little undersized on my ratchets here, but I can work with it. Take this bottom fastener a little bit loose, that way the assembly can pivot. Almost lost a flashlight again. Okay, that should be good. Now let's go ahead and back out of here. We'll let the truck down and reach the alternator top bolt, and then slide that nadir down, loosen the belt more, and we'll pull that last belt off. All right, going in a little deep down here. You can see there's the nadir right there. There is our slotted adjuster bolt right at the top of my finger there. So I need to get that one loosened and loosened. And then that alternator should fall down some, and I'll be able to get the belt off this next one. So from here, that looks like it's a 12mm bolt. Let me reach down in there and see if I can't get this guy to come out. Real close quarter combat, especially when I bring a 13mm socket. Oopsie, wrong component. Try again. That should be the, yeah, that's the 12. No, that's 13 again. Oh, I can't count. Yeah, 15, 14, 13, 12. It's this one. Wow. I'm having the case of the Mondays on like a Friday. And that's not okay. Today. Wouldn't you say? Yeah, these dad jokes are getting out of control. There we go. Okay, I saw the nadir move. So what I can do is just kind of reach in and tug on that belt, and it'll pull the alternator to its maximum slack position. And then we can pull the belt out. Now this one is wrapped around the fan, so we'll do the same fan spinning procedure here. Yep, slip this thing past the blades, and there is our final belt. We can see she's not looking too great here. A lot of wear on the ribs. I think we're missing some on the side here. It's all worn away. But we have a brand new set of new replacement belts. So let's get these guys unpackaged, matched up, and we'll get them reinstalled. Then we'll see if this system over here is going to shut up when we start it. You guys will notice I kind of kept these in order from the way, or the order that I took them off in, and that was to eliminate potential confusion when trying to sort out the remainder of these other components here. So this one, that's our smallest unit, so I'm going to assume this is our replacement alternator belt, right? So what we can do here to verify such things is grab it and kind of stretch, and I don't think that's the right one. So my assumption was incorrect. Here, I just grabbed the next closest looking one, give that one a stretch a little bit, and we can see we're a lot closer in our guesstimated estimation here. So what I'm gonna do is take a look at our indicating part number, our writings here, and as always I'm gonna reference these facing forward just because I'm like that, I'm just weird that way. It bothers me to like look at belts in this configuration and you find like one of them is worded towards you and then the other one is worded away from you, and I just I like the clean look of having all the lettering pointing in the correct direction. I know it's somewhat insignificant and it doesn't matter, but it's those little details that can bring enjoyment to a situation, and that's why I focus on those little details. Anyway, the belt is now around the fan, and it's around the crank, and it's around the water pump. And you know, while we're at it, let's see if I can't squeeze it around that nadir pulley too. I'll tell you what, I'll take it back off the nadir, slip it over the crank again, and then, yeah, there we go, back on the nadir. Okay, so that belt is now in position. Now we need to tighten it. So this is the part where folks are gonna be like, oh my God, you can't do that. But this is the way it's done. What I'm going to do here is we're gonna stick this pry bar down behind that alternator, and I'm gonna get a spot against the case where I can apply some leverage. And we're basically going to pry bar this alternator away from the engine block. Let's see if we can't see. Yeah, see, there's the bar right there. There's the bottom of the nadir. We're just gonna pry on that nadir some, and it's gonna slide outwards, and that's gonna put tension on that particular belt, which we can check it again from the front side here. And once we know that belt is tensioned properly, I can lock down the top bolt and that belt will be in position. Yeah, we got to do it by feel. There's no automatic tensioners here. This is old school stuff. So this may be a little confusing to see because my hand's going to be in the way, and the motion is going to be rather minuscule. I will try to illustrate it as best as possible. So right now the nadir is slack. Hope you guys can see that. I'm prying on the nadir, prying it away from the engine block, and you can't feel it, but you can maybe see it. This belt right here is getting quite tight. So I'm going to hold that pry bar in position, and we need to tighten the top adjuster bolt on this alternator to lock it in its position with the tight belt. And I try to make these a little extra tight at first, that way it allows for the belt to stretch after it breaks in. There we go. Taking pry bar tension off, and that belt is tight and in position here. It's good tension on it. So I need to get a little more leverage on that top bolt to really lock it down. Give it a tug here. A little bit more. There we go. So that is locked in position. That's a tight belt. We're good to go so far. So the next belt, this is the one that runs over here to the AC compressor, and it does not wrap around the fan on the front of the engine here. So again, we've got the lettering facing forward, again around the crank right here, and then, ow, I'm stuck. And then again down below at that tensioner, but we're gonna have to raise this one up to get to it because that's all adjustable from the bottom side, I think. Well, the adjustment part is, let's get this thing slipped onto the pulleys first. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and run this thing up in the air, and we'll get the we'll get this one tight and fully installed. Backing on up. Let's raise it on up. Once again, smash the subscribe button. Moving on up. Moving on up. Okay, back down below, we see the belt is over the crank, and it is over the AC compressor, way back there. But we're on top of the tensioner, and we want to be on the bottom of this tensioner pulley. So we pull that guy back down. You're gonna fit. It better fit. Oh, that's close. I'm afraid to loosen that tensioner pulley any further. Farther. I'm gonna have to loosen that tensioner pulley. That's fine. Okay, wobble 12 back in action here. Come on, get on there. See, we needed a wobble because there's this steering stabilizer thing in the way. We'll give this some turns. Ah, hey, look, I can see there's a visual on that adjuster in the back here. But what I can't see is how much thread is left on top of it. See it right in there behind the oil filter? It's risky business. I don't want to overextend it. It's so close too. I'll push up with the ratchet, and then maybe I got enough here. Come on. Oh, there it is. Got it. Okay, that belt is on, so I'm flipping the ratchet around. We're gonna go ahead and tighten up this adjuster rod, and that's gonna put tension on this belt. Now the only thing this belt is driving is that AC compressor, so we don't need to like tension the crap out of it to a point where it's putting a ridiculous side load on anything. We just need to make sure it's good and tight and that the edges of the belt will maintain friction on the faces of the pulley. So if you can kind of pull it and get a little bit of stretch out of it, I'd say that's right on the money. Now, chances are with a belt like this, if you own any of these or ever have, once you install new belts, you often have to come back later on and readjust them. Again, which is why I try to make them a little extra tight to compensate for the stretch that's going to happen. With a serpentine belt, the tensioner, the automatic tensioner, will handle that as the belt stretches, so you never have to do any maintenance on those belts, except replace them when they get dry rotted. Okay, that's pretty good. Alternator is pretty good. They all feel the same. Let's, real quick while we're down here, tighten up that lower alternator fastener right there. That's that 14, I think. And then we're done down here on the bottom side. Get in there with the wrong size socket again. Woohoo! Okay. In the back side, there is a nut that goes through the bottom of this alternator, so I just need to hold that with a wrench here. Go ahead and tighten this guy up. That's, again, the bottom mounting bracket bolt for the alternator. Clickage. And that is now tight. We're good. Okay, let's get out of here. Lower this thing back down. We'll get those last two knocked out, and then we'll fire this thing back up. All right, next unit is this wee little guy right here. And this one is gonna wrap around the fan. It takes its drive, or its driven side, its driven pulley is this water pump pulley here. It does not run off the crank, so this belt gets its torque from another belt that does run off the crank. Does that make sense? So this one, again, goes around the water pump pulley here, and it is here to run this air injection pump up top, which is a catalyst emissions device. We pump in some fresh air into the exhaust to make sure all the fuel gets burnt. And this is another unit that we're gonna have to use a pry bar to get it in place and lock it down. Okay, so the air pump here is gonna get pry barred out. I'm gonna use the curvy angular pry bar. Word of caution, when pry barring engine components, make sure you're not pry barring against something that is easily damaged, like a wiring harness or a fuel line or something of that nature. Now again, this doesn't have to go super tight because this is a kind of a low power or a low what do I want to call a low torque device. Yeah, that's it. There's not a lot of load going on this, and it's usually consistent load, so we're just gonna make this one moderately tight so we don't smoke some bearings. We pry it, hold it in position, tighten down the adjuster nut here at the top, and I'm gonna have to find the one below and see if there's if that's adjustable or not. There we go, get tight. There we go. Okay, and that belt feels really good to me. So for what it's doing here, that's plenty of tension. And again, there should be another fastener down here somewhere, but I can't see it, nor can I feel it. Oh, wait, I see it. I can reach it with a wrench. Getting the head of this wrench on there was hard, but yeah, got that one tight now as well. So this thing can no longer pivot. It's locked down on the top and on the bottom now. It was loose on the bottom, but we've also remedied that. So that's 3 down, 1 to go. Last one is going to be power steering, and that is driven directly off of the crankshaft down below, probably for some system redundancy. That way if you lose a belt, you know, you lose the one belt that drives the water pump pulley, it doesn't take out all of the whole system. So redundancy was built into it. Okay, last unit coming in. We're gonna go down, wrap this around the crank first because that's far away and hard to manipulate. Come here. Okay, we're engaged on the crankshaft. To the left here, pushing down the power steering pump again, and we're on the pulley. So we just need to get this one tight and lock her in. Okay, we've got a wrench on that bracket to allow me to apply some tension on the belt. Give that a pull. I think the belt's getting tight. Yep. Feels tight. They're not running very straight though. They're still a little off from the way they looked. There's probably bends in the system, like in the bracketry. Misalignments of some sort, but it is an old V-belt system, and this is kind of how they were. Hence the advent of the serpentine belt system later on. Anyway, I'm on the adjuster bolt right here. Give this a little bit more forward tension. Tightening down that adjuster. Feel it getting tight. Whew. And I think we're all set here. Checking tension, that feels pretty good. Let me get my tool back. Cool. All right, let's get out of here, clean up the goodies. We're gonna go fire this thing up. All right, moment of truth. It's either gonna squeal like a stuck pig or it's not. Let's see what she does. Woohoo! Look at that. Nice. No squealage. Good looking machinery right there. Everything's doing what it's supposed to be doing. I like it. Alright guys, well that's probably going to bring the topic of this video to conclusion here. We stopped the squeal. The accessory drive is going to be reliable. It's had an oil change. It's got a new fuel pump. So it's probably safe to say we can get this thing back on the road once we air the tires up a little bit, throw some wiper blades on it. Maybe give it a little bit of a bath, clean some of the junk out of the bed, and this thing will be good to go. So guys, again, having said all that, I have nothing more to offer you in this particular video other than a thank you for watching this video. If you happen to catch the first episode on this truck, again, I thank you for watching both the videos. I hope you enjoyed this semi rehab procedure on this old Isuzu truck. So let me know what you think about this thing and its triangle windows in the comment section down below. Again, do not forget to engage that like and subscribe button while you're down there. And most importantly, do not forget to have yourselves a fantastic day. See you guys later in the video, end of Isuzu, end of mini truck rehab, end of transmission.